The modern family. The modern family. Let us bridge the gap between generations. Let us shape up the modern family.
I remember when I first met you, I felt that God answered my call. There was that one place I always thought about, and I just wanted to be there with you. The place that no eye has ever seen, the place that no heart has ever perceived.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the earth. And peace and blessings be upon our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Dear listeners, I salute you all with the salutation of the people of paradise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm your host, Hatim al-Absalam, and joining me is
Wa'il al-Harrasi.
Thank you very much for tuning in to our daily program, The Modern Family. Today we have a very interesting topic. Before that, I would like to congratulate all Omanis and all citizens of Oman for the happy anniversary of the Renaissance Day. And I pray to Almighty Allah to bless Oman and the people of Oman, inshaAllah.
Ameen.
Inshallah.
You know, Hatim, we always say we have an interesting topic. Do you have to say that? It's people should take it for granted. We are always interesting. As our topics as well. Yeah? Okay. Then the topic today, yes, it is interesting. It is important. It is critical. It is crucial. Today we are going to talk about marriage awareness. In Oman, in 2011, there were 3,552 cases of divorce recorded. Now, this is an alarming rate for a small nation like Oman. We would like to raise the questions: why do we have such a large number? How can we raise the awareness of youth, children, to a better marriage? What makes a good marriage? What makes a successful marriage? And what would make a bad marriage? We would like to highlight all of these, and what are the practical steps towards teaching youth and children at what stage to be prepared for the future. So we would like to introduce to our listeners today Dr. Amira Abdul Muhsin Al-Raidan, Psychiatry Medical Officer at the Drug Unit at Masarra Hospital. So, Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Amira, and welcome back.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Thank you for hosting me again.
You're welcome, you're welcome. It's always an honor to have you here, and we look forward to learn a lot from you, inshallah, today, as usual. So, Hatim, maybe you could raise the first question here to Dr. Amira today, and how shall we start?
I think we have to go to the very first beginning, where marriage starts between the parents before even having their kids. And once we start having kids, when do we start enforcing marriage awareness to our kids? And is it verbally, or is it through actions, or what?
And do we need to enforce that awareness? Why is marriage important?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, this is maybe a genuine question, and everyone will definitely have the same inquiry about what's the suitable time to talk about the marriage and when.
Yeah.
If we want to start, we have to start from the parents themselves.
Yeah.
They are the initials, and the obstacles or even the good steps throughout their life. It will give them the hint on when to start with the children. It depends on their personality and maturity. So it's variable from one family to another, and this is cannot be given on for grant. We have to start on the teenage life, but this is the initial time where we are having the biological and physiological and psychological changes. The parents, they can start with the very basic information about very simple words, using it like the marriage. It is the union of man and woman for a better life and to have children like you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of information. It is enough on that stage. No much of information about
how marriage gets on, and how two parents meet, and how children are produced, because normally kids will have lots of questions.
So this is the maturity life. So they have to focus on their physiological, emotional, biological changes.
Yeah.
And you have to enforce why you are different from your sister. And this is why we are having, Allah created us in this, form, so that we can get married and we get children. Like now we are, me and your dad, for example, we are married and we are having you now.
Yes.
And depends on their personality.
Yeah.
If they accept.
Before even talking to them, can't children sense from the behavior of the parents and the way they live together whether they are happily married or they are distressed?
Yes, you are right.
At what age? Do they sense that from a very early stage?
Yes, you will be surprised if I tell you, in very early age, the children will have problems. Because, for example, crying or keeping silent, or bedwetting, or biting the nails. This is all signs. If the child in that early age of 5 years or even less can notice father screaming to the mother, or beating her, or throwing things.
Or vice versa.
Or the opposite, yes. And the children, they cannot express at that time, except in their behavior.
This is very important, that kids cannot express their feelings, and
in the early stage.
But the symptoms can be seen in the things that you mentioned.
And probably they don't understand the aggressiveness, because children are used to give unconditional love, and this is the way they understand life. So I don't think they understand. Do they really understand the meaning of aggressiveness or aggressive attitude between adults?
In other way, do they know how to hate?
Actually, this is an instinct in everyone, and there is any certain factor that it will provoke that instinct at any stage of life. There is no specific age that he experience or he will show his anger. So we cannot say that from the beginning that they will not have the hate. They will have, but they will show it in being more stubborn, nervous, shouting, screaming. So this is the simple way of telling the anger. But in the later stage of life, they will do another kind of more advanced behavior.
So they notice, they notice the distress.
Yes.
They notice that there is something wrong, which bring us to the next step, which is, before even talking to them about marriage, parents need to behave well and to always be in good terms, at least in front of their children.
Exactly.
That is the first step of raising awareness. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. If you want to say what time or what age of life you have to talk about marriage, this is not the issue. The important is to educate the parents themselves, to find a suitable time to talk and a suitable setting. And if they have any hidden agenda of fight or conflicts, they have to sort it out away from the children, because they will convey the message of hateness and aggressiveness to the children, and they will take it. The children, they are just very clever, and they're just waiting for moments of learning, and every time they are learning different, even a hand movement, they will learn it very on spot. So the parents, they have to understand the responsibilities about being themselves as a parent, and how they have to behave well and to address well the setting of a marriage, so that the children can be ready, because otherwise there will be conflict. If the parents are shouting, screaming, the children seeing it, and then, come, I will tell you about when you grow up and get married. No, inshallah, I will not get married. I saw
my parents.
Khalas, I am done. I don't have a wish to get married.
They have the phobia of getting married.
Yeah, so the parents, they have to behave well from beginning. They have to know the basics of respect and honesty between them, and then they can convey the message to the children. If they're doing something and they want to teach the children something else, definitely the message will not reach.
So does it work when parents would say to the children, don't be like us? Does it work? Be better than us.
Really, sometimes
we are doing this, we can't stop ourselves. Huh? Does it work like that?
It's too late to change.
Actually, I doubt they will, verbalize it. Majority of the parents, they just, never admit that they are behaving bad.
Yeah, for argument's sake, if someone just he's he doesn't feel that he can improve anymore, and that he can't do anything with his life anymore.
And then he will tell the son or daughter, I hope that you will be better than me.
Yes.
This is very...
Will it work psychologically? Will it work with the child?
It won't work much, because if they have the imprints in his brain and the process of growing, the hate, the nervousness and the shouting, the anxiety, it will be very difficult to accept the terms unless he have strong personality for change. And this is the personality now, it will play a part.
And plus, he's learning to surrender very easily from his dad.
It depends.
Or mother.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is what we are talking now. If the parents, they want to change the children and they are doing the same bad behavior, the children, they will not accept to take the new information, which is contradict from what they are seeing.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very important to give the awareness that whatever the child sees through the life of his parents, it becomes a blueprint in his memory.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he gets married, he expects to have the same thing that went through his parents. I know a couple where the man came from a family where they had a lot of love. And whenever they meet, they would hug and they would say nice words to each other. And he got married to a lady who came from a family that believed that everything has to be formal between us. There is no intimacy between us. So when they got married, the man was expecting that my wife is going to be like my mother. She's always loving. She's calling me in beautiful names. But he came to find out that his wife is, cold. Very conservative. Okay, you're my husband. I will call you Abu Flan. I cannot call you Habibi or my love or anything else. Because that's how I was raised. So it's very, very important. What blueprint do we put in the minds of our children? Because this will affect their marriage life in the future.
And the expectation.
Yeah.
Because if they are raised up in very loved, secured, respectable setting of parents, definitely this is the message that they want to convey to other people. But if they are, we can see, as you said, some people, they are conservative or sometimes they are aggressive in their relation with internal setting. And when they meet with other opposite or versus personality, they will have a conflict.
Yeah.
And this is a problem now. And because they are not used to give a care and love, and it's very difficult for them to change. So the parents, they have to start. If wanted to raise awareness about marriage, raise awareness about the meanings for successful marriage, the respect, the honest, the loving, and appropriate words to talk to anyone. Yeah. This is the things, the key words that everyone have as a parents to convey to their children.
That's why it's very, very important from the beginning of the marriage between the parents that they should be both on the same page.
Exactly.
Otherwise, the children will just be lost and they will have high expectation or low expectation, and when they get married, their marriage will be affected.
Let's touch on this point. Okay, they have to be on the same page, but what if they have been in conflict in front of their children and the damage has been done? How can we salvage such a situation? If children witnessed a time where his mother or their mother and father were in dispute or fighting over something, how can they salvage the situation? Of course, immediately they won't be able to do anything, and I don't think any sort of talk will cause any sort of comfort. But later on, what can parents do?
We advise any parents, if at any moment they had a conflict or a fight, verbal or sometimes can happen physical, at that moment, if the children witnessed that incident, not to talk about it at that moment.
Okay.
They cannot convey other message.
Yeah.
There will be double message, and the children, they will not understand.
Okay.
So they have to just close that subject on that time. Find another suitable time where everyone is calm and good setting, and the children, they are comfortable, and then you can talk to them.
Shall they sleep over it?
Sometimes it's unhealthy. Why? Because the child will dream of that as one of the movies or one of the stories, and especially to the beloved one, mom and dad.
Yeah.
And he will be touched by it. It will not show on that day, but maybe in the coming days it will show up in problems of bedwetting, or sometimes difficulty in speech, stuttering.
Yeah.
This is on later with time. If the conflict still going on and the child is suppressed, not expressing,
Yeah.
and the parents they keep, silent because we are the parent and they have to, tolerate us. This is not true. If you are making a mistake, you have to make sure that to explain to them that time we are out of control and supposed not to be done.
Dear listeners, you can always join us for discussion or give us your questions and queries on 24602058, 24602058, and please specify your question or comment shortly, because we have very limited time on the show. Now, Dr. Amira, the next step, when is it the right time to have the little chat about marriage, where you go into more details and more you break all the boundaries between you and your children, and you need to go through details that might not be comfortable to them?
Yeah. Again, this depends on the maturity of the children. You cannot just say my child or my son is 20 years and he's having low IQ, low understanding, and you expect him to understand because he is 20 years.
Yeah.
So the words, even the statements or even the advice that you want, choose it according to his understanding level. This is very important. Don't judge or over expect that he will understand because he's 25 or even 30. So use the language which is very easy, very, conveying the message in very understandable way, and try to give an example by the parents themselves. We are the one now, we are here, and you are raised up because of our union as a mom and dad.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, we are having you, we're having your sister and brother, and we're expecting you in the future to behave like us in good manner. So this, what I mean is that try to understand their emotional, psychological level of understanding. Then you can talk about the marriage.
What about after the time of puberty? Is it too early to bring up the subject, or is it you can bring it up in a different way?
Actually in the puberty is the time where the hormones are more on the peak. So sometimes the children, they misunderstand. They want to go for action. So you have to be very aware when you talk about the subject, and be open with your son or daughter. If someone want to tell you that I had an experience or I did already an experience, don't just close the door and you are bad and you did a mistake and you are not belong to us. I didn't teach you. I raised you in very good manner, Islamic way and conservative and with cultural aspect, and you still did the mistake.
Yes.
Try to convey the message,
And this can only be done if you are a friend and companion to your child.
Exactly. That's what we stressed in the previous show, that to be a friend.
Yeah. I think even in an Islamic through our Islamic teachings, it is imperative that we teach children at the age of puberty, or just before, when you see some signs of puberty, because as Dr. Amira said, it is the time where the hormones are at their peak, and if they don't get the information from you, then they will get it from their peers, which is potentially dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. So the parents, they have to watch out what's going on with the son, with the daughter, and try to understand. Sit with them, talk to them about what you learned from us, anything you want to add to your information. And the parents, if they don't have that information, they can ask their older people or
experts in this
or
field.
someone, if he's educated enough, they can Google and read more, and then come back to their children and tell them, you remember you asked me that time. Don't ignore the question because you don't understand or you don't know it. Try to get an answer and come back to them and explain to them why that piece of information it was missing, because maybe I'm not that much aware, but it's good to share together. So this is an open dialogue.
You said something very, very important, that you can seek the assistance of someone else, because many times maybe parents would like to maintain the boundaries between them and their children, and they cannot go into a lot of details, especially when it comes to marriage. So maybe I've witnessed, maybe this is part of the tradition, that when a boy or a girl wants to get married, the father assigns the uncle or the aunt to go and talk to them and tell them in details about the marriage life.
This is
which
an
maybe
example.
they are more closer to their uncles and aunt, and they become
I don't
comfortable.
think it's about being close to them
Rather
than being shy.
shy. Yeah, because they didn't disclose this subject early.
Yeah.
When they came to the moment of truth,
Yeah.
okay, that moment of getting married,
Yeah.
this is a big dilemma, I cannot handle it, because he didn't discuss it earlier.
Yes.
This is the problem. So what will happen? Easier and safer to use the culture.
Yeah.
Okay, I will assign your
Uncle.
your grand, or whoever can talk to you about this is sensitive issue. Even sometimes the parents, they will say to you, this is a sensitive issue, I can't talk to you. And this is one of the problems.
Yeah.
The man or woman who are about to get married, they will have very fear expectation about the marriage, something like a war, and they don't understand what will be going on later on, because there was no preparation from the parents. And this is the stage one now we are talking about. They have to talk
this
to
is
them.
very, very true. And when it comes to from the parents, it has an impact more on the child.
Yeah.
And it stays with you for the rest of the life, because he has seen the practical example, how the parents treat each other, and now your dad or your mom comes and tells you verbally that this is what you're supposed to do. So I think it has a better impact on a child when it comes from the parent.
One question. It might be a very strange one, but do children feel or might even think that their father chose the wrong mother for them, or vice versa?
Actually, this is not only a feeling rather than an observing.
Yeah.
Once you observe, you convey the message to your brain, and then you will feel. So whatever the child will see from an action from the father or mother, verbal, physical, or even emotional, they will sense it, and then they will get the feeling that they want to experience it.
Yeah.
But if they see all negative vibrations from the parents, they will have the anger and fear from their observation, and they will have this feeling they want to convey to other people. This is the problem.
That my dad did not choose a good mother for me, or my mother did not choose carefully. If they reach at an age where they can think that way, is that possible?
Yeah, this is possible actually, because if they are seeing good harmony, they will understand, oh, my mother and dad, they are along together and they are on the same page.
Yeah.
If they sense negative, they said maybe my mother, she's wrong to marry my dad, or the opposite.
What are the psychological implications?
He'll take sides.
Actually, he might take sides. Sometimes they might develop anxiety. This is one of the problems.
Okay.
Yeah, this will affect their study. And that stage where we can sometimes blame the children, they are not scoring high grades. Come dig down and we will find out that the child or that teenage didn't have the emotional stability or psychological stability. Because he's seeing the fights between the parents most of the time. In-house, sometimes outside, and he's sometimes feeling jealous because other friends are having stable relationship, and he's the one who's having the bad or wrong parents. So they will sense that my parents are wrong, but the parents, they have to justify. This is what we are talking. If they had a fight or problem, they will not talk to that son that moment. After a while, everything come down. After 1 hour, okay, my son, come. I want to tell you, explain to you. We had a fight with mom because we had some disagreement about something, but doesn't mean that we
don't love each other.
Exactly. So the message will not come to that teenage that my mother, she's wrong, or my father is wrong, rather than there is disagreement on certain point, and the conflict was about it. Okay. So he will not have a double message of being the parents are the wrong match.
And even the mother praising the father in his absence, and the father praising the mother in his absence.
So this is the message for the parents.
Yeah. So dear listeners, it's a very hot topic today, and it's a very important one. And I'm sure that a lot of you are eager to call in and ask us. So you can call us on 24602058, 24602058. And with us here is Dr. Amira Al-Raidan, a psychologist at Al Masarra Hospital. We'll have a short break, and we'll take your calls after the break.
The Modern Family.
Do you know that when we have to choose a spouse, and I'm getting to that now, when we have to choose a spouse, you know, there's people smiling at me here, and I know why. They say, why weren't you here 20 years ago? Okay, it's fine. If you've already done it, it's okay, we can rectify. But we have to talk to those. We have to talk to those who have not yet chosen the spouse. And even if you have, try and go back and see the qualities that you have looked at and develop on them, develop them. When you choose a spouse, the hadith says there are several things that people look at. Al-mal, some people look at wealth. Al-jamal, some people look at beauty. Al-hasab, some people look at the status of the person. And some people look at the nasab, which is the lineage of the person. And some people look at the deen and the religion of the person. So many people don't understand this narration. When the narration says, فَظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَكَ, the hadith says, become successful by selecting the one with religion, with character and conduct coupled with deen. One narration, the Prophet ﷺ says, إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. When a proposal comes from someone whom you are satisfied with their level of character and conduct, or in fact starting with the level of deen and character, then allow them to get married. Allow them to marry. You're looking at two things. Character and deen, which means if the character is great and good, or equivalent to yours, slightly higher, and the deen level is equivalent to yours, slightly higher, then you stand a better chance for your daughter to be in a home where she will be happy. Get them married. So why is it that when it comes to wealth and looks and so on, some people think that in Islam, you don't look at looks. You don't look at looks. As it is, the women are supposed to be covered. So you don't look at looks. That's wrong. The hadith didn't say do not look at looks. The hadith is saying you see all the points you want to see, but give the tip of the scale to the deen. Which means if you have someone who's drop dead gorgeous and they don't have any deen in them, and then you have someone who hasn't yet killed you. You know what drop dead means? You die. They haven't yet killed you with their looks, but mashallah they can, I don't know if you can say drop unconscious gorgeous. That's a statement which is slightly lesser than the DD, So if someone comes and they are good looking, okay, they have a better deen in them. It is better for you to compromise the looks to a certain extent and make sure that the religion is intact, than to go only for looks, because the plan of Allah is there will come a stage when that blemishless face will develop wrinkles. If you have loved the outward face, you will not be able to get along with that woman.
The Modern Family.
The Modern Family.
Dear listeners, welcome back. That was a lovely, wonderful clip from Mufti Ismail Minik. You can watch it on YouTube. I really enjoy this guy, mashallah. And he really expressed this point very well that we're going to discuss next, which is how to choose the right person.
Really, it's a touching clip, and really it says everything that's what we're supposed to say. We have to concentrate more on the character of the person.
Yeah. I mean, in today's world, in the modern world, where we talked yesterday about mixed gender environments, and in the mixed gender environments, normally youth are trying to choose their own, let's say, spouse or partner in life. Unlike the old days where you would seek the help or assistance of your parents.
Oh, you have the arranged marriages.
Or arranged. And that is, we would like to differentiate here between forced marriage and an arranged marriage. There is absolutely nothing wrong with arranged marriages, because that's how the culture is, and it ensures that the safety of both male and female, boys and girls. Forced marriages where a boy is forced to marry a particular girl, or vice versa, where a girl is forced to marry someone she doesn't like, she doesn't know anything about. Arranged marriage is where I go to my mother and ask her, okay, can you please find me someone? These are the qualities I would like. She would go there, shop for me, and come back, said, there you go, son.
With the treasure.
Yes, with the treasure.
and when your mother finds someone for you, then be assured that she'll get along with your mother very well.
Yes. Now,
Who's her pick?
so in today's world, where a lot of people would like to choose themselves, and unfortunately, the criteria is wrong. They are young, they're energetic, and what they look at is probably looks. And it is very easy for a boy or for a man to pretend for even a certain period of time, even for several months, to pretend to be the right guy. And it's very easy for girls as well to pretend to be the softy, the nicey girl.
Yeah, for how long, like?
Yeah,
because looks are deceiving.
Yes.
In our world, looks are deceiving. So I think for the guys who are looking to get married, Ramadan is the best time to find a wife.
Yes,
because they're natural.
No makeup.
But we still, again, we don't rely on the beauty.
Yes,
Yeah?
we shouldn't.
Yes.
This, to me, I think this is why now we have these numbers: 3,552 divorce cases, and some of them don't last even a week.
Yeah, this is alarming because it says that some people, they are going just for the sake of marriage, maybe under pressure of the family, maybe under financial reason, maybe social setting,
forced marriage.
But still, in all cases, there is a period what we call pre-engagement. Before you get engaged, this is the period we have to stress on. We have to educate the parents to have that window of time where the man can talk to that woman, chosen woman, at least understand her mentality, her personality, her character, what she likes, what she doesn't like, her interest. And then they will get some similarities, and they might get agree along and then get married. If from the beginning they find a lot of discrepancies and difficulties in getting along the same page, then it's better to end it before having the marriage.
I think there's two things here where parents guide their children from an early stage on how to choose the right person, and at the same time for kids to listen to their parents, because sometimes your parents can see some things that you might not be able to visualize at that point of time, but emotionally you're already attached to that person and you don't want to listen to what your parents tell you or what advice, and you go ahead with that marriage and then things go wrong.
You're right. This is why we say that if the man or woman in the stage of getting married, they have an open relationship with their parents or very close family members, then they can share their worries and their questions with them, and they can guide them for the better option and better decision. And this is very important.
Yeah, and for all the youngsters that are out there who wants to get married and think that involving parents would undermine their ability to choose and their freedom to choose, what would be your advice for them? Is it really undermining their ability to choose and that they are not mature? Is it that, or is it because parents would have been there, have had the experience, are wiser, and can choose for their children, either boys or girls, someone who is suitable and according to their criteria?
This is very really controversial question, because we cannot judge. Maybe the parents, they are really controlling and they want the way that they want.
Yeah.
Although it's not agreeing with that man or woman in their wishes, but this is sometimes it happens. A majority of the time it happens that the parents force the children, just because they want it, and this is unfair.
So you have to get married to your cousin or someone from the same tribe.
Maybe they have no feeling, no intimacy, and they feel they are like sisters. There is no reason to get engaged just to please other family members because you are cousins. We had come across several cases. I had one time a patient where she was brought because she cannot sleep, and she got married to her cousin just 4 months, and there was no kind of any contact with him. And now the problem is that she wants to get divorced, and the man he wants to get divorced because they don't feel attraction. But they are cousins.
Yeah.
Now they are afraid how to break this news to the family.
Yeah.
And the female, she's suffering now. She cannot sleep, she's crying, she's depressed, and this is really very tough.
Subhanallah.
The victim are the children.
It is sad. It's sad, really. So how would you propose to use the cultural inheritance of which I feel is actually healthy? What is the right way of doing it? So forcing them is wrong. How can we still use our cultural inheritance in engaging our parents when we choose our spouses? And how can we do it in a proper manner?
For example, if the man finds that his uncle, daughter. She's like a sister. There is no need to act. You accept that setting to get married. Go to your close uncle or your grandfather, whoever, wise person, the family. Tell him your problem. I cannot. I don't have a feelings to that girl.
Yeah.
And please help me to convey the message to my family.
And even for the parents, do not go and make a commitment. Some of them fall into the trap that, sorry, I have given your uncle a word.
Exactly.
That you're going to marry his daughter. And that's the end of story.
And we have this kind of stories from the beginning when they are 7 or 10 years. You are khalas to your uncle, daughter until inshallah that time when you get married.
Does it still happen?
Sometimes it's still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we spoke about how it shouldn't be done. How should it be done? What is the correct way of doing it? If let's say we are talking now to the youth who wants to get married, then the right way is probably they could engage their parents. If they have no clue where to start, they could engage their parents. Of course, this is built on trust. They could engage their sisters into looking for the right person. Now, for girls, it is easier because normally someone is coming. But for boys, you wouldn't expect a girl to come and to knocking on your door and asking you to get married. That is unconventional, at least in our society.
Yeah.
So for any boy who wants to get married, for any man to get married, they need to approach fathers or sisters to look from scratch for somebody, or if they have someone, they could open up to them and say, this is the person I think is good. What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, we must understand what age. Is he on capable age to get married? Is he responsible? Does he have the financial and social support that he will provide for the future wife?
Assuming everything is ready to go.
Okay, let's see that all this setting is ready and prepared. The person, he must be honest. This is very important. And also choose the criteria of respect and harmony for the other partner. Once he get along with that idea of respect and on the same page with that girl, for example, he can ask the father. If the father of tough personality, and sometimes it's there, they don't accept their grown son options, then he can go to a friend. If failed in the family member, then can a close friend to the family talk to the family, and then they can sort it out. But not to go against the family. This is I don't advise.
Yeah.
Although it's a right choice.
Yeah.
We are having all consequences later on, and this will affect the family. They will have the hate and will have problems.
Because what my parents taught me is that this is a marriage between two families. It's not a marriage between two people, but actually the marriage is between two families. So you would like to create a harmony between the families.
Yeah. Although it will take time sometimes. Maybe the family, that friend or close family member failed to convince the family about the marriage. Be patient.
Yeah.
But don't force yourself to get married against your family wish.
Yeah.
This I don't advise.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're running out of time, the next point that we need to discuss is that what contributes to marriage stability or fragility?
So many factors. We can start from the family themselves, and then we'll go outside the family boundaries. The family setting from mother and father. If they have the criteria that we talked earlier, honesty, respect, harmony, intimacy, and not judging, not controlling, all these things, it will contribute. Okay, and the life experience that they are having in their life in the journey of life with their children. This is all to maintain a good, healthy path. And the opposite, if all lies and acting and just to please other people, forget the family, just to please, they are under pressure of other people, they want to please others against their own small family. It will be very fast, fragile. If not in divorce, they will have a lot of social
conflict
and familial conflicts.
And supporting this point is the saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is that the best of you are the best to their families. So being good within a family, a man being good to his family, and vice versa, is the building block to a better society and better future marriages as well.
And this will reflect on the outside to other families and other people in the future.
What about understanding responsibility as one of the most important things that would either make or break a relationship, either make it stable or fragile?
Rights and responsibility.
Rights and responsibilities, because when we have youngsters who are getting married because they knew each other in college or whatever, sometimes, that's not always the case, but sometimes they believe that they're going to live that fantasy life. Exactly. Where everything is rosy and everything is nice, and never thought about roles, responsibilities that comes with marriage.
Yeah, this is the role of the parents now. They have to enlighten their in the stage of marriage.
Isn't it the role also of the society, the government, media, all of this?
Exactly.
Mosques, because the mosques, of course, because we don't have that. Enough of that in media. We have a lot of imported series that we have that it doesn't depict that. It doesn't depict that. What it depicts is the fantasy life between a love story between a man and a woman, a boy and a girl.
Exactly. This is what we are doing in the show. We are taking the media responsibility to raise awareness to the parents so that they convey the message to their children who are about to get married in the future. So this is the stage. This is not responsibility only for the parents, but every sector. As Hatim said, the mosques as well, to educate the parents, to educate the young youth who are about to get married. They have to focus on the certain criteria in their personality and to understand the responsibility. It's not only to get along with that person. You will be caring for that person in life. You will be caring for the children. You will be responsible for the raising up of the children. You will be responsible for the financial support. So these responsibilities you must offer. And on the other hand, you will have the rights to be respected because they are offering this kind of support and responsibility. So if that person or woman get the idea of responsibility and rights from early time, from the parents, from the social, from the other family relatives, from the media, then they will understand.
Sharing the story, when I got married, my dad gave me a 3-hour lecture about rights and responsibilities, and one of the things that he said, the first thing you have to understand that you are a man and you're getting married to a woman, and both of you are physically, mentally and psychologically different. So don't expect to be like her and don't expect her to be like you. The other thing is that you were raised in a particular way and she was raised in a different way. So try and align your differences. And then he said that whenever you have a conflict or a disagreement about something, don't let the outside world feel that there is a problem. Sort it out by yourself in all levels. When it becomes severe, you cannot cope with it anymore, then involve the closest people to you, like your parents.
Mediators.
And he said, don't think that because you're a man and you're getting married, that you are the person holding the whip, giving orders. No, you are a partner in this, like she's a partner in this. And both of you have to work together to make this as a total success. It's not about orders and command. And this really helped me in my marriage, and I thank my dad. And I urge all parents to have this talk with their children, because it does make a difference. It does make a difference. And maybe Dr. Weil can share with you this historical
I remember,
advice from a mother to her daughter.
I'm not sure if it's still in the curriculum, but when we were at school, we were taught about this story of a mother who is advising her daughter when she's about to get married. And she gave her a lot of tips and advices. One of them is that be a servant to him and he will be a slave to you. So do not be stubborn and just lose your ego for some time. Even if he does something wrong, be a servant to him and he will be a slave to you. So for a successful marriage, I think both parties need to lose their egos. Otherwise, it will just be a very fragile, and it will be a very quick end. Another tip she gave is that living in harmony and obedience. Living in harmony and obedience. Companionship with content. don't ask for too much. Don't keep asking for too much. It will just cause more anxiety to the partner, to the husband. Ensure his eyes would never see anything bad on you. Ensure that his nose would never smell anything bad. Ensure that his ears would never hear anything bad. Be precise, be accurate when it comes to meals and timings, because hunger might just inflame anger and will increase anger.
Especially to men.
Especially to men. The way to their hearts is by their tummies. So, although this is a story that is being taught to us of a woman talking to her daughter, but it is also applicable between a father and his son.
And his son.
Yeah, so it works both ways. All of these work both ways. And she's talking to her daughter and tell her to be silent when he's asleep, be quiet when he's asleep, do not disturb or disrupt his sleep, be patient with him, keep his secrets. This is also another very important Islamic teachings that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us. We are the keepers of each other's secrets. We are never allowed to take it away to anybody, reveal to anybody. Because one of the important, and you mentioned something that what keeps, Dr. Amira, what keeps a marriage intact within the family, there are several aspects, but there are aspects outside the family, outside a husband and wife, which is sometimes interference from parents. And I remember that my mother always says, if your wives, when she talks to us or she talks to our sisters, if your husband does anything wrong, do not tell me, because I might take my son's or daughter's side, and I don't want to do that. I want to be fair, and I can't guarantee that I will be fair if I see your tears.
I might get emotional.
I might get emotional. So if something, he or she does something wrong to you, my child, don't come and tell me. Okay, I don't want to interfere. She might give advice, so a parent is encouraged to always give advice. Any young couple would always need advice, but there is a very fine line between advice and interference.
Another thing that you can add, Dr. Weil, is that for parents, treat your in-laws like your own children. So don't distinguish between
children? In-laws as children?
Yeah. What I mean by in-laws, your daughter-in-law or your son-in-law.
Okay.
So treat your daughter-in-law as if she's your own daughter, and treat your son-in-law as if he's your own son-in-law. And this will solve a lot of problems. Do not take sides. Yeah,
the harmony. And as you said, and Dr. Wael said also, the confidentiality is very important. And you can just breach that one once you are hopeless. You cannot do it alone. Although you are responsible, but sometimes things are beyond your capabilities. Seek help from a wiser or a close friend, and believe those people who will be really of great help to you.
The point that you mentioned, Dr. Weil, about beautifying yourself for your spouse is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because normally we seek the attention of the outside world and we forget what is important in our life, which is home.
Exactly.
And so if you can be at your best outside home, then being at home has more priority of you being in that state.
And I think that is important. And probably, Dr. Amira, you could highlight on this the importance of a woman beautifying herself for her husband. We live in a society where a lot of things now are exposed.
Exactly.
And even a man with all his modesty would need to see, we need to appreciate beauty. And if he doesn't get it at home, it would be difficult to go out and not notice something else outside marriage.
Yes, you are right. We are stressing this again here in this setting. For any woman to really take care of herself, and this will enhance her inner feelings. And this will reflect to her family, especially her husband. If she doesn't take care of her own feelings, her own beauty, then definitely this will put a lot of question marks. My husband, maybe he's looking here and there, and he's out frequently. Try to find out the reason for this problem, because really you didn't care for your own beauty at home, and this is very crucial at home. Really, it will help you to have a confidence when you come, dealing with your husband and communicate with your husband and other people. And really, it's true.
And it takes effort. It doesn't come easy. I think men also should appreciate that it doesn't come easy for a woman to get prepared. They have certainly noticed that when they go out, it takes him 5 minutes. It would take her 30 minutes at least. So although we are asking women to beautify themselves for their husbands, to take care of themselves when they're at home, even more than when they go to weddings. But we would also like to ask men to be also
appreciate
by
words. Really, it's a magical
praise,
thing.
yeah.
Praise.
Yeah. Praise them.
Really, it's very touching. It's very fast message.
Yeah.
Before doing anything else, and really, it's worth to be said, not to be ignored.
And it works the other way around as well. Men don't come back sweating, and in your terrible state, you're coming back
and
home.
And say it's time for cuddles.
Go and hug the wall.
Right. One further tip for men is that do not expect that to happen every time you come back home. Yeah, is that correct? Because you come back home to a wife who's looking after children who are driving her absolutely crazy, and you're expecting her to be
a model.
A model.
A model 24/7. It's very, very difficult most of the time. So you have to accept in both cases, and you have to appraise her in all way, because she's really multitask woman. She's looking at the children, she's cooking, she's taking care of the house, she's trying to be in the top. Her good looking, so this is not to be ignored in one single come home with maybe she is not in proper look and she smells with fish or whatever. Don't humiliate her or say bad or very touching words
insensitive
to her. And she will be taking it very negatively, and she will feel that he's really not appreciating her hard work. And really, this is very important. In all moments, you have to appraise her for her hard work, not only because of her beauty, but rather to do things that you are not doing it, while you are at work. She's doing the majority of the job.
Yeah, not to forget about working mothers as well, who might have just arrived home just before the husband and probably didn't get the time even to rest.
Exactly.
And the husband would expect her to be at her best.
I think we've turned it into a marriage topic instead of parenting.
It is something that we need to teach teenagers and even parenting. Part of parenting is to teaching youth who are just about to get married.
And the parents, they are in the fragile relation if they are ignoring these very small tips. Really, because they will not sustain. We said one of the questions that how to sustain, you have to have a harmony, you have to have honesty, respect, and also the beauty, and to know your responsibilities, even to appraise someone. This is one of the responsibilities and the rights that you will get as a reward on in the dealing with the husband or vice versa. And this is very important. We are ignoring it, so it's worth to highlight it again.
One of the advices that I got before I got married is that all women look the same after 6 months. It means do not go and look for beauty, because even if you marry a model, after 6 months she'll just be a regular person to you. So always look for the inner beauty in a person, because that person you're stuck with that person for the next 50 years. And when you're weak and old and you don't need a model, you need someone who cares about you and loves you so much.
But still no harm if there is someone having both,
Dr. Ismail Malik said, if she's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, the beauty and the character and good looking, and alhamdulillah, he will be the winner.
My personal philosophy is that if someone gets married to someone who is purely just for looks, and after marriage he discovers that her character is really bad and the attitude is out of order, that beauty will never count anymore. And all that we'll see is an ugly person. Even that beauty would turn into ugliness. Whether a person who gets married to a wife, and probably she's not by the common standards beautiful, But due to her beautiful nature and beautiful soul, a man would always see her as the best person ever been created.
I do agree 200% with you.
The last point for today is we're running out of time. What sort of advice do we give to our children? Is it advice or is it interference with their lives? Tell me. Yeah.
I advise the parents to be a good model. This is the start. They have to apply all the things that we are taught in our religion: respect, truth, losing up, and not to fight. These all beautiful features that is we are taught and we are practicing it in our religion. And this is really, it will reflect on the responsibility that they will show to their children. And definitely the children, they will pick the good things and they want to apply it in their life in the future.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amira Abdul Muhsin Al-Raidan, for your input in today's show, and we hope our audience have benefited and enjoyed our hot topic today. We'll leave you with the thought of today. The thought of today is a prophetic tradition from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, whoever believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment should say good or hold his silence. Thank you very much. I'm your host Hatim Al-Absalam and
Wa'il Al-Harrasi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The modern family. Let us bridge the gap between generations. Let us shape up the modern family. The modern family. The modern family. Join the discussion and give us your feedback. Live with Hatim Al-Absalam and Dr. Wa'il Al-Harrasi. The modern family.
Has ever perceived, I had a great feeling inside.